struggle to improve your chess? I'm an international master and I have discovered a simple daily practice that transforms your chess. No complicated theory and no endless drills. It's straightforward, it's free, and I will show you exactly how to start using it right now. What's up, chess player, and welcome to the Journey to Grandmaster, the place where you can improve every single aspect of your chess game. If you truly want to become stronger at chess, you have to train consistently. And here is the exact routine that you can use starting today and see first results in just a week. First of all, we need a high quality puzzle that we are gonna work on. The simplest way to get that is to grab a good book. In my case, I used the Grandmaster preparation series from Jakob Agard, but there are so many great books in chess, so feel free to use what works for you. Of course, it also depends on the level, because this one is pretty advanced. The most important thing, though, is how exactly you do it. So the key here is to focus on chess, to do some kind of a deliberate practice when you don't have any distractions. There is absolutely nothing that you're focusing right now other than the chessboard, your variations. It's not even that significant that you find the right move every time. In fact, if you do that, it's just that the puzzles are too simple for you. So you have this high quality puzzle, in my case this position where it's black to move. First of all, I ask you to pause the video for a second and think about it yourself. Then I'm going to reveal my exact process of solving such puzzles, of practicing chess, of improving it in the fast time possible, and of course how you take all of those decisions. But first, it's going to be so much more effective if you're gonna put your time into it. If you're really gonna invest yourself into it, then the strategy I'm gonna share with you will make sense to you, and you can apply it immediately to every single one of the games you're gonna play afterwards, as well as, of course, to your daily practice. It's black to move, do your best to find the best move, and of course calculate the variations, try to understand what kind of opportunities you have, your opponent has, and what is the best way to continue the game. Alright, I'm sure you have taken your time and you have found the right answer. Even if not, don't worry, practice makes master, so it's important that you work on it, that your mind understands that actually chess is important to you, and you're gonna shift your mindset towards finding the right moves. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna share with you how I try to find the best move in positions and how I practice chess on a regular basis. So here we have this position where black is attacking. This king on g1 is definitely the first thing that catches my attention. So before you are trying to find the best move, it applies both to all of the positions you solve and the games you play. You need to understand who is better and why to know what you're playing for. Because you don't have to be over-optimistic where the position is very, very bad, but you are somehow treating it as if you are completely winning. That would lead to really bad decisions. But the other way around just as well. If you are better, you have to attack, you have to use your initiative. You don't want to underestimate it, because then you're going to miss all of those nice opportunities. So here the material is around equal. Just as I said that, I noticed that we have a bishop down here. We have one bishop against two. That is also very important to acknowledge. That means as long as the pawns are equal, yeah, we have one pawn for a bishop, but that's not enough. That means that 100% we have to go forward, we have to attack and create threats for our opponent. Otherwise, he's gonna stabilize the situation and he's gonna just win the game thanks to his extra bishop. So we have to absolutely understand what is our goal. Now we know that all kind of passive moves are not gonna help. Then we take a look at the king. Yeah, this king on g1 is definitely our target. We try to understand the main weaknesses in our opponent's camp and what are our strengths and how we can use them. We have here basically all of our pieces attack, and that's very good. Those are our strengths that we are going to use. Now, how do we actually start calculating the variations? We start with the most active opportunities: checks, captures, and threats. Because if we don't do any of those, then our opponent is going to have kind of a free move and is going to be able to stabilize and win the game. Checks, we always start with a check, because this kind of moves completely paralyzes our opponent. He cannot do anything apart from reacting to our move. The only check I see here is rook takes g2. So I'm going to start with that. Rook takes he like, you always have to assume the best move that your opponent can do. If you're grabbing his bishop, of course you have to think what happens if he's gonna take a rook. So rook takes g2, and then if I just take it back on g2 with the bishop, he takes king takes, and then a lot of pieces are going off the board, which is bad for me, because remember, I'm a bishop down. I should not just exchange the pieces without any very good reason. Otherwise, it would be much simpler for my opponent to convert the advantage. And secondly, I reduce my attacking material so much. So unless I have something very dangerous afterwards, I don't know, queen g5 is just a check. He can hide on f1, let's say. I then don't have any other checks, any other way to continue the attack. Notice that this f3 pawn is protected by the queen on a3, so I cannot really just grab it. Otherwise, I would have checkmated him. And then once his king is on f1, he is able to play bishop to f2 when needed to support his defense, and I don't think it's going to be enough. So after rook takes g2, it doesn't mean necessarily that rook takes g2 is already bad. Maybe after rook takes and rook takes back, I have to think of other alternatives of what I can do. For example, I can play rook takes f3, because then the f3 pawn is not protected enough, and attack the queen. Again, not only for myself, but also for my opponent, I have to always and always start with the most active opportunities. He does have a check, like his queen is under attack, so I have to think where the queen can go, and he can go to a8 with a check, and yeah, it's a problem. If I go with the king to f7, he's continuing to grab all of my pieces here, the pawns, giving me checks. That's not great. I can go back to f8. That's a move with the tempo. Let's say he plays, I don't know, even queen to a3 back, because, well, we are playing for a win now. Let's see if we have something better. The f3 pawn is no longer there, so that might be our advantage. At the same time, well, he has this control over the third rank with his queen, which is also very important. And I still don't see any checks. Again, if he takes, well, there is an advantage. I mean, if I take on g2, he has to take back, otherwise queen h1 is a checkmate. And then the advantage is I now have this move queen to e2 check, which wasn't there before because of this pawn on f3. Now it's not there. So queen e2 check, he doesn't have bishop f3, because I'm gonna just take it. If he's gonna play king h3, that's the simplest way for me, because rook f3, I'm just winning the queen. But what about all of the other moves? For example, king to g3. In this case, I have queen f2, and no, sorry, queen f2 is not a move. The bishop is there. I have queen e5 check. Probably goes back. Yeah, I feel like I might have perpetual check, but not necessarily it's gone enough. Although it kind of looks dangerous if I can connect my rook at some point. Yeah, the problem is if I don't do it with the check, he's gonna have queen a8 and start checking me forever. And just with the queen, I'm not going to be able to create dangerous enough threats. Okay, I'm gonna keep it in mind. That feels interesting, but maybe I have something better than that. For example, now I have checked this rook takes g2 move, it's a check. The second step is the capture. Bishop takes g2 is the most straightforward capture, and it's probably the only one apart from rook takes, because rook takes f3. Okay, maybe it's somehow an option, but let's start with bishop takes g2. That is much more straightforward. I take the bishop. Again, he has to take back, otherwise the material is equal, I have an extra pawn, and I'm continuing my attack. Queen h1 is a checkmate threat, he has to take. Now, if I take, we transpose to the same variation to a little of attacking material. But maybe now I play rook takes f3 with the same idea. He still does not want to take my rook on g6 because queen takes, and at least I win the queen, maybe just checkmating him. So that's not an option. He has to go away with the queen. Again, check is the most active option for him. But again, I have rook to f8 attacking that queen. Let's say he goes back to a3 again. And in this case, yeah, I do feel that that must be dangerous somehow. I have that same line, rook takes g2, but I also have queen e2 immediately, although he can now take my rook on g6. So that's not that simple. And it's very important for him that he has this bishop that controls the whole diagonal. All right, so after queen to a3. Maybe I have a move like rook to h6, which is not a check, but I don't see any good checks. It's not a capture. I don't have any good captures, but that's a threat. I'm threatening checkmate move in 1, queen to h1, because I control this f file with my second rook. That feels tremendous. And in this variation, of course, it's important to start with rook takes f3 so that the f file is opened. Otherwise, he's going to be able to hide his king. But in that line, I think it's just a checkmate. I don't see, like, he can start sacrificing pieces, rook takes g7 or queen takes f8, but I don't think it's going to help him. I think it's still a huge attack, and I'm winning there. And otherwise, he cannot really escape. His queen cannot help him to escape. Yeah, so bishop takes g2. Let's go through it again. He has to take, rook takes. Then rook takes f3. Now, he can sacrifice the queen. Queen takes f3, but I just take it back, and I have a queen for he has to take on g6, takes. I have a queen for the rook and the bishop, and his king is completely naked. I have a lot of pawns. That's completely winning. So that's not a problem. Maybe he has a smarter move with the queen now, like, I don't know, queen to e7, closer to my king. But the problem is he doesn't create a check this way, and that is why it's just a checkmate. Rook takes g2, king takes, queen h3, king g1, queen g4, and rook h3. That is a force and checkmate. So he has to be active, and his queen is also under attack. Maybe rook takes g6. That is his option. No, that is not. I just take it back because I thought I have to take on h3, but no, I play queen takes g6 again. Always start with a check, even if like the queen is hanging. It's so tempting to take it. No, start with a check, and then it's either a checkmate or I pick up the queen again. Yeah, so queen a8. Again, I go rook to f8. Again, he has the opportunity to sacrifice a queen, but it's never ever dangerous for me. I'm doing good in terms of material. This video is brought to you by Chestnut. Chestnut is making amazing chessboards that allow you to play online from a real 3D board. They have high quality chessboards, nice looking chess pieces, so that you can enjoy and having fun playing it. Chestnut boards also have so many training functions that I absolutely love to use to my training, and it helps me to improve my chess every day. This is, for example, Chestnut Evo. I love to use it for my trainings, but they have so much to offer you depending on your preferences and your budget. And the best part is you can just use the promo code Journey to Grandmaster or click the link in the description to get a big discount on all of the Chestnut products. Yeah, I think the right move is bishop takes g2, followed up by rook takes f3. That is very active, that is very dangerous. And then the key variation, when he gives me a check, I play rook f8 back. Now he goes somewhere. This time he's not obliged to go to a3. Let's say he goes to a4 or a5. I don't really care. I just play rook h6. Now I noticed the variation. Queen takes b7. That's the most active move, because I don't have that move rook h8 now. Rook h6, sorry, because queen takes g7 is a checkmate. Alright, so let me think. Bishop takes, rook f3, queen a8, rook f8, queen takes b7. Now the drawback is that the queen is not controlling that third rank, which was an advantage before. So maybe I have a move like rook takes g2 this time, king takes, and thanks to the fact that the queen is offside and I have my entire queen and rook to attack him, I hope that should help me. So queen a2, he cannot go to the third rank. That would be a checkmate because I can connect my rook. So he has to go backwards, king g1, let's say. Now I don't really have a lot of checks. Queen to g4 seems to be the only check since he controls the diagonal. He has to go to the h file, h2 for example. And I would be happy to play rook f3 and start creating those checkmate threats, but he has queen b8 check, king f7, queen c7, king g6, queen d6, king h5. Can I escape like that? If he doesn't have any checks, then I'm just checkmating next move. He has no defense. Even like he can win my queen when I'm on g6 with the move rook g1, but still doesn't help because of the checkmate. That's a funny line. Yeah, so can he Can he be smarter with his checks? The queen is on b7, so maybe he can start with... Yeah, but c8, I covered that square. Remember, my queen is on g4. So he doesn't have that queen c8 check. He has to start with b8, then I go king f7. Maybe e6 check now. But that does not change anything, right? I just play king g6 anyway. Now you have queen to e8 check, but I hide on h6. And then, yes, you have bishop e3 check, but doesn't stop me. I'm going to just take it, and checkmate is still coming. Yes, I feel I'm going to go for it. So bishop takes g2 is my move, and after rook takes, I want to play rook f3. Feel free to share in the comments what was your solution, and now let's take a look here at the solution. It's so convenient with the chestnut board and the forward chess books application together, because I have a book here and I can just press this button and see that I'm completely wrong with my solution, which is fine. I mean, that happens again if I'm just solving everything correctly. That means it's too simple for me. But rook takes g3 is the right move. Wow. Double exclamation point. It's a slow move, actually. Remember that, like, we always start with checks, capture, threads, and I have done that, and bishop takes g2 was a capture, but apparently that doesn't work. We are going to find out why. But rook g3 is the right move. Okay, let's start with what I tried to play. So the comment that Jakob Agard is writing here, it's difficult to see a move along a line that ends before what we have perceived as the focal point. Here the attack is on f3, and it is absolutely devastating after rook g3. But if you play rook takes g2, that might have been your move as well. Then rook takes g2, bishop takes g2. Let me just click it through. King takes, queen g5. By the way, another advantage of the chestnuts, Evo, and forward chess cooperation, you can just click the moves here without making the actual moves to save you some time. King g2. Yeah, that's what I also thought. We don't have enough material, but what about bishop g2? Another line is queen g5 in the starting position. Queen g5 is actually something I haven't even considered. And then just queen e3. Yeah, I also felt like this shouldn't be enough because this thread is not dangerous enough. And now rook f4, queen d2. Yeah, white is in time to protect everything. Queen g6 and just e6. Yeah, white is creating some counterplay and also defends everything. All right. Bishop g2. Okay. So I'm actually not that bad. Bishop g2 exclamation point is a second solution. Yeah, because I thought, well, I'm completely wrong with it, but apparently not. Very interesting. And after rook takes g2, rook takes f3. That is very, very satisfying for me to read. This is also good enough to win. After queen a8, rook f8, and queen takes b7, just h6. Okay, that one, I thought rook takes g2 is good enough, but maybe not. Yeah, h6, I agree. Maybe I would have found it if I would have played up to this point, because yeah, we are still attacking. The queen is completely offside. There is nothing I can do, and we have improved our position a lot. That's, by the way, a very, very smart move, this h6, because now we are free to use our rook, and we can always hide on h7. Let me show you also the best move, the rook g3 variation. So after rook to g3, the best move for white is rook to e1. Other moves offer no greater resistance. And now we play bishop takes g2. Okay, so what has improved is the position of our rook. And so that means that after this rook takes g2 move, we have queen h3. But it's also partially due to the fact that rook on e1 is now hanging. But other moves had more drawbacks for white, apparently. And Yeah, now when they try to protect it, we just have rook g takes f3, which is creating a double threat, attacking the queen, and creating a checkmate threat in one. Okay, now I'm even more interested to know what you have done, whether you have played bishop takes g2, rook g3, or any of that. Please share in the comments your solution and your decision-making process. The key here is that you perform this practice on a daily basis. If you're gonna do it for a week long, only 1 week, you're gonna notice first results, and believe me, afterwards you will never want to stop. If you're motivated to try another high quality puzzle, this video is perfect for you because I am sharing with you my decision making process so that you can improve your calculation skills so much.